Wow. Yeah, that's the right number. $8.21 for gas. $8 gas. Let's talk about how this can pretty much signal the beginning of the end. $8 gas. People are already complaining that, hey, guess what? At these gas prices, they will not be able to go to the park or vacation. No, won't be able to go to work. One lady said these prices, she's like, she can't even afford the commute to get to the job because of the gas prices. So if she can't afford the commute to get to the job because of the gas prices, what does she do? Quit the job? Probably end up getting fired after so many no-shows, and you can't say, yeah, I can't afford the gas. This will signal the beginning of the end. This will actually crash the economy, housing market. So let's see, if a person cannot afford to get to work because of the high gas prices, that means at some point they may get fired or lose the job. A lot of companies are, what are they doing? Hiring now? No, hiring freezes after all the layoffs. But I've been talking about all the job eliminations, but no job creations. So with all this going on, what will happen then if a person cannot afford to get to work? Then they're going to stop getting their income. The paycheck will stop. What will start happening? More evictions and more foreclosures. Yeah. More evictions, more foreclosures. I just saw a report. It was saying, hey, even the gig economy, and this is before the gas hit, they're like, hey, it's hard to get. With the gig economy, I saw a man post up a photo. He actually went to deliver some food. He went to deliver food. It was 12 miles away. Guess how much he got off that 12-mile trip? $14.21. $14.21. But don't forget, he's self employed. So when you back the gas out, how much did he really make? When you back the gas out, how much did he really make? It may not even be minimum wage. Then it also said, guess what? It's kind of difficult because guess what? There are too many people in the gig economy. There are too many people trying to actually work a gig economy. And now this taps in. So what will happen with the price of gasoline? Not just people able to go to work and secure income for their families to survive. This will pretty much wipe out the gig economy. It's going to tank out. It'll just shut us down because the driver's going to have to spend more to deliver food, uh, uh, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, food, or providing transportation to people. They've got to pass the cost on. I've seen it again. 50 cents go up in 1 week. That was last week. Gee, this is ridiculous. Lesson learned. I think a grave mistake has been made. What we're facing with Iran, this is not going to be Venezuela 2.0. Sometimes you can get a victory, and that's, great for the person, but you think, okay, I got this. Know your enemy, know your ops. So, this right here, if people cannot get to work, what is going to happen? They'll just lose their jobs and just wait to be homeless. Eat and feed while you can. I guess use the last gasoline to get to the grocery store. You can get so far at the bottom, you can't climb up. $8 gasoline. In some places, it was around what, 269. I've heard a friend of mine say, oh, they're paying 250. Now it's all over three. Some are saying, yeah, they went from three already up to four. This is California, no surprising. But you say, oh, well, that's California. Yeah. But newsflash, if that's what they're paying, if you're paying between three and four, don't be surprised when it gets between five and six. This is what I meant when I said it'll shut it down. the economy collapse and it won't take any couple of months. If people cannot get to work, flying, that's going to increase as well. A lot of places that are relying on tourism, like Vegas was already suffering, rely on tourism. What happens if the worker bees can't get to the hotel? They can't afford to, the drive. Listen, public transportation, there's a thing called 52-seater, aka bus. Can you imagine how much it'll cost now to ride the bus? That bus pass might be obsolete. For rideshare, this will pretty much just shut it down. And people rely on that when they're traveling to get to the airport, to the hotel. They rely on a lot of people now. They've had car repossessions. Gee, speaking of car repossessions, who do you think is going to be rushing to go buy a vehicle? Who do you think is going to be rushing to buy a vehicle? Can't even afford the gas. You think insurance won't go up? Domino effect. Why? Well, what's going to happen if the insurance workers for that company can't afford to even get to work and to process claims? What's going to happen then? This is what I call this cannot continue because this will be the beginning of the end. It will be a domino effect. Oh, speaking of, what do you think is going to happen for the grocery store prices? Truckers are already saying, yo, they're out. At the grocery store, what do you think is going to happen with that? Price of food is skyrocketing. Some companies are already getting clever and they're doing this thing where, they reduce the packaging and charge the same money. Or some, like, hey, forget that. They'll reduce the packaging to make it look like you'll notice, hey, this is a lot smaller than what it was before. They'll reduce the package and they may still raise the price. Bet you there's going to be more air in those chips now. This is what the dollar is backed by. And if they're saying that they will only allow to trade the oil for the Chinese yuan, then what they're doing, that is truly, in my opinion, how can you not see this? But we can agree to disagree. That's an attack on the dollar. You can repair, except for human life, but buildings, you can repair that are hit by missiles. You can repair, but but a collapse in the economy, it can get so bad where there is no repair. And I don't mean, well, 7 years bad credit on a foreclosure. Where are these families supposed to go? Oh, food bank. I wonder how the donations are going to be going for the food bank. The price of food will be increasing. So think about all the sectors, working people going to your doctor's office, the insurance. Oh, I need to go ahead and file this claim all around. If people, you look what's happening with TSA. So what if that starts happening because the working people cannot afford to get to work? What if that happens across the board? You will have a collapsed economy. This will cause more evictions. This will cause more foreclosures. This will result in more crime. And if you think, oh, they're criminals, you're going to see people engaging in criminal activity that you never would have thought would before. Not saying that is right, but you built into a system and student loans that good luck with that. You have a system that people grew up believing in, and that system has let you down. And now for it to come to a collapse, the video I uploaded before, what do Americans have to look forward to? Please tell me. Your family? Yeah, a family being homeless. Look what's happening with TSA. Workers not getting paid. So imagine workers across the board from your doctor's office, hospitals. What if the workers can't afford to get to the hospitals? The nurses, the technicians, the admins, the cleaners, CNA, nurse assistant. What if they cannot afford to get to the hospital? So when you go there, oh yeah, fill out these forms. Well, if Mr. and Miss fill out these forms, can afford to get there, what forms you going to fill out? Then what? Are you going to have the nurse slash the admin? This could be the beginning of the end. Absolutely horrifying. Anyway, let me know what you all think about this. This is unreal. We've got reserves. Yeah, they're already saying they're going to tap into them. That could take weeks, right? Americans are already the working class. What's left, we're already check to check. So that could take weeks. Weeks. And then it says after that happens, it'll be the reserves will be at the very lowest. Uh, well, in the past 44 years, at the very lowest. But hey, we got AI. This will cause more people to become homeless. It will escalate the foreclosures. It will escalate. You're going to have more evictions, food. So talk about life is lifing. Talk about at this point, people have been discussing how it's unaffordable. This just accelerated. The civilized silent purge that I've spoken about in this channel, this right here, just accelerated it. It'll be a lot faster. And if you think that people are going to stand by and say, well, I believe in the system, so I'm just going to stay in my car. Oh, yeah. Some people have been staying in the car, but guess what? They've been staying in the vehicle. Next thing you know, the car's been repossessed. Staying in the vehicle, and then you look up the vehicles repossessed, they want the car, and all it takes is for a person, if you're in a homeless shelter, they've got tracking on it, all it takes, go to get gasoline, go take a shower, and come out, everything is gone. And because it's so volatile, they're not going to stop and say, oh, looks like this person's living in this vehicle, let me take their things out. No, they're going to go ahead and hook and bug. And so then that person, what you have on you, that's all you have. That's all you have. Your purse, your wallet, your identity, any cash you have, that's all you have. That's it. So what do? People in that situation, you got to take your phone and your essentials with you each time you leave that vehicle. Don't take a chance, especially if the repossession team is looking for the vehicle. And if you think you're going to have a civilized society where everyone's just going to stand by and just, well, I'm just going to sit here and perish and, just starve to death, think again. It's just a minute before the anger. What's the song say? It travels from your head to your fist. People start raiding grocery stores. It won't be a joke this time about some food stamps. Speaking of that, what if the worker that stocks the shelves can't afford to get there? If the truckers, if some of them are calling it quit, I mean, this is dire need. Again, this will tank the economy. It will collapse. And if you think a buildup is just so easy to start over, think again. Do not be delusional, my friend. Think again. So the gig economy, this may wipe it out. And the sad thing is, you're going to have people who are so desperate and so evil, they want to get somewhere. Do not be surprised. Hate to say this, they'll go ahead and call, let's say, for a ride or something, and then they'll try to refute the charges to get it free. And then that'll hurt more people in the gig economy. You have people who do things like that. Oh, I got a free ride. I'm going to call in and say this and that. Or I got a free food delivery. So yeah, think about it. If people can afford to get to work, look what's happening with TSA. If people cannot afford to get to work, what do you think is going to happen? If that happens across the board, the economy will collapse. Let me know what your thoughts on it. What area are you from? What's the gas prices looking like? Again, this is California, and you're like, well, that's them, but yeah, it'll trickle down. So where you've been paying 3, don't be surprised if you see 5 or 6. Because I did see one. Did forget. They went from like maybe I think they were like around just a little under 3. They already went to $4 and some change. Wow. I think the wrong call has been made. This will not be Venezuela 2.0. Not even. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out. And I do wish everyone well. Be safe.